In this next video, we're going to look at reference formulas and also the concept of absolutes. We're going to begin by opening up our file, which is named Absolutes Rate of Change. Always we want to make sure that we click on Enable Editing. So we have our file, name of the sheet, Absolutes. So we're going to begin by using a reference formula. And a lot of people might say, well, what's a reference formula? It's a formula. And it's a formula that gets its value by referring back to another cell. But the key component here is that it's a formula. And like all formulas, it begins by using an equal sign. So we're going to go up into cell C2. We're going to get our equal sign. But we want to get our value by referring back to the cell A2. So we have an equal sign. We're going to click on A2. That's where our value is going to reside. That's the value that our formula will be looking at. Check mark. If we quickly double left click, our reference formula is looking at the cell A2. That's where that 100 is coming from. Escape. Go to our fill handle, and we're going to copy down that pattern. We have our plus sign, hold down our left mouse, drag it down. We come to that last cell here, which is right now showing 1,000. But if I quickly double left click, it's showing me that that value is coming from cell A11. That's where that 1,000 is coming from. So it's a reference formula. It's referring back to another cell. It could be in the existing sheet. It could actually be in a different sheet. Let's come up here to cell E2, and we're going to use a reference formula again. Equal sign. Click on cell A2, but we're going to make it a little bit different. We're going to make that reference formula into an absolute. So we're going to tap function key F4. By doing that, once again, what's happened now is that we have now a $A, a $2. So it's going to be referring back to A2. But by making it into an absolute, we're not going to allow Excel to guess what our future pattern is. Excel will always be looking at A2. It's locked in. It's not going to change. So let's do this again. Equal sign. A2. Function key F4. Check mark. Quickly double left click it. Yep. It's referring back to A2, but it's locked in. That formula will always be looking at A2. Let's go to our fill handle. Drag it down. Everything is 100. So initially it seems like it's a mistake. However, if we go to that last cell and quickly double left click it, we're going to see the formula is correct. is telling us to reference or refer back to cell A2. Likewise, this cell right here, it's looking at A2. If I quickly double left click it, it's referring back to the right cell. And then to prove that, I can go in here into cell A2, which right now is showing 100. And if I change that value to 1,000, hit enter, I actually changed it to 100. It should be 1,000. Look how everything has changed. This is correct. It's looking at A2. That's why it's 1,000. But in all cases here, quickly double left click. It's locked in at the value. It's referring back always to cell A2. And we know it's locked in because there's a $sign equal $A, $2. I'm going to highlight this, delete it. We want to get some practice here. Equal sign. Click on the cell that we want to refer back to. We're using our reference formula, equal A2, but I want to lock in that value. I want to lock in that cell reference. So it's always looking at cell A2. And how I do that? F4. Check mark. Go to my fill handle. I got my plus sign. Hold down the left mouse and drag down. It's referring back. It's locked in, always to A2, no matter what happens. But I'm going to change this back to the original number. So I'm in A2. I'm going to change that 1,000 to 100. And everything is changed. Let's compute our percentage of the total. We have 5 stores. Each store is selling 100. I've already put in a formula here. It's auto-summing those values. Summing from I2 to I6. But I want to get a percentage of the total equal our first value right here in I2 divided by our total, which is in I7. Check mark. Quickly double left click. That's correct. I2 divided by I7. Let's format it as percentage. Go to our fill handle and copy that pattern down. Oh, we got a mistake here. Let's see what it might be. Divided by 0, you can't do that, but if I quickly double left click, I'll see where my problem is. It's showing I3 divided by I8. I3, that's correct, but there's no value in I8. Quickly double left click here. I4 is 100 divided by I9. Well, there's nothing in I9. So let's go back to our first one, our first formula in cell J2, which is showing I2 divided by I7. That's our total, but our problem is that our total in I7 was not locked in. So how we do that is we come up here into the formula bar. We have our cursor blinking right next to I7, which we need to make into an absolute. It needs to be locked in. F4. Check mark. Go to our fill handle and copy that pattern down. Thank you.